Hi guys, I just came home like 10, 15 minutes ago, I think. Got a little fresh and I was like, I feel really inspired to film a video and actually want someone just came in my room and I got so flustered. Obviously they could tell that I was filming a video. I don't know why I get so shy about this. I mean, I know why I get so shy about this, but you know what I mean. Um, my phone is like resting on a pillow and then blankets and then a book. If that's not iconic, I don't know what is. Anyways, so I have been planning to film this video for a while, but I've been vlogging and I've had assignments and job opportunities which I didn't get. But like all of that was really happening, and because of that, I just couldn't find the time to film this video. But I'm so excited. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Nehal and I love to recommend books. And but today, this video, I just posted a Q&A on my Bookstagram and I just asked people to ask me anything, basically bookish opinions on some fictional character or on some particular book or some trope, anything related to books that you guys asked me. And I got such interesting questions, like most of them are like controversial. At least my answers are going to be a little bit controversial and maybe unpopular, but you're going to enjoy it so much. I'm so excited. I didn't get much time. I just took the screenshots and I'm like, let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about books. Okay, so the first is, let's just start with something controversial, like why don't we? Okay, so the first question I got was is Haunting Adeline a good book? Moment of silence. The sound, the background noise that you're hearing is my whole friend group, is like all of my housemates and their friends are in the hall and they're waiting for the pizza to arrive. I'm also waiting for the pizza to arrive. I am not sure which flavor they chose, but I trust them. uh, so yeah, it's midnight. It's actually 12:54 a.m. It's 1 a.m. in the morning and we are going to eat pizza. And I'm filming a YouTube video. Anyways, so this book, Haunting Adeline, you must be living under the rock if you haven't heard about this book. Everyone has heard about this book. When I say everyone, I mean people who are not even like readers. People who are like just have started to read romance. People who have not read romance have also heard about this book. Men have read this book. Like I'm not saying that men don't read, but most men don't. Like they don't read romance, not dark romance specifically. But to answer this question, I think, like personally, I think it was a really good book. Someone just came in and started apologizing profusely. Like, that's so sweet. Like, I didn't tell them anything that I'm filming this video. Anyways, I'm getting off track here. Um, Personally, I think Haunting Adeline was a really good book because it really stuck to its trope. Like, it's like uh, this book can be the poster face of dark romance. It had like some heavy trigger warnings. I think it had page full of trigger warnings, and that excited me because I was like a dark romance reader. So I loved it. It was a stalker romance and it was really dark, and the steamy scenes were like non-con dubcon, all of that. I i i dig that. Like I loved it. I ate it up, like every chapter, every banter, every dialogue and all of that. But I would like to add that there are a lot of girls, especially who are under 18, who have read this book. I don't know how they got their hands on this book, but like they shouldn't be reading this. First of all, it is not a really good book for young girls to read because the concept of consent is not discussed there. Like it is not clearly written what non-con dubcon means, and like young girls, they don't know about this. And I, it really like It made me sad, and it also pissed me off the fact that underage girls were reading it and they were like, oh my god, Zayn Meadows is so hot. And I was like, that's appalling. First of all, it's not their fault, but I don't want young girls to think that, oh, Zayd Meadows is the standard and that's how men should be. And I don't want them to have those type of interactions with men and think that, oh, this is normal, oh, this is hot. It's not, by the way. It is not. So in that case, I think this book is not for everyone. It is only for people who are over 18 and seasoned dark romance readers with open mind. It is only for them. And even if I had read a lot of dark romance books and then I read this one, this was not my first dark romance, like at all, not by a long shot. And still, I was so extremely triggered at some points. Like, it was hard for me to read. It was entertaining, yes, but I was like, my whole skin was like kind of repelling and was like, oh my god, what is wrong with this man? Like, obviously he's hot, and I was feeling all these feelings and I was enjoying it. It was highly entertaining, but at the same time it was really, really dark. So personally, I think it was a good book, but I don't think it's for everyone. And if you didn't like this book, it's fine. Doesn't mean that you wouldn't be like included in this bookstagram community. It is totally fine to not like a book, by the way. You do you. So the next question I got was, your opinion on teacher student romance. Controversial. I'm telling you, all of them are like that. All of the questions are like, I personally don't like this trope unless there is a good story. I would not read this trope. I have read like few of the books, like for example Gothicana. It is like a professor student, yeah, it is a teacher student romance, but there is so much more to it. Like, it's a gothic mystery. It is a bit spooky, and it didn't feel creepy to me at all. Maybe because there wasn't much age gap, so there was not much, like, it was just like he was authoritative and he was hard, and he was just someone who was like in higher ranks. But yeah, it didn't feel creepy at all to me. I have read, I think, Sweet Dandelion, which was also like this trope. Then I haven't read much books because I don't know, it just creeps me out. This one, I also read uh, a little bit of Good Girl, and it also has that trope. I just don't like this. Like, I just find it kind of creepy, especially when there is a lot of age gap. And oh yeah, and Dark Notes by Pam Godwin. I also read that. That book was like something because she was a minor. Granted, he was young, but still, like, I don't know. There has to be more to the story. But whatever, I do find this trope a little bit creepy. But if the story is nice, I would read it. And if you have read any teacher student romance which you think is worth it, and there is a good story, then please do recommend me, because I haven't read this trope like much. Like, no, I haven't. I don't like it. I don't prefer it. That's my answer. Forgetting that it's a screenshot, I start scrolling it. Okay. Mm, suggest some dark romance novels. I would suggest you to watch my previous video, which is not a vlog. My previous two videos are vlogs, but um, the Forbidden Romance recommendation video, it includes a lot of dark romance. Um, Yes, and also like specific recommendations video. It also includes a lot of dark romance, and you'll get some specific tropes and everything. So I would suggest you to check that out. And yeah, but because you have asked me this question, I want to recommend one book. I would recommend Kill Switch by Penelope Douglas. It is like the best dark romance to ever exist, in my humble opinion. It is, obviously, it has trigger warnings, and it has a lot of trigger warnings, and heavy ones. This book is so dark, like it's not a joke. I'm not kidding. It is dark. It is not for everyone. It is a part of a series, but I think every person who is even a little bit intrigued about dark romance should read this book. It's amazingly written, and the character development, uh, Damon Torrance. It's the whole thing, like the whole book is a masterpiece, in my opinion. It is a masterpiece, what my opinion. It is like it is a fact. So, have you ever read the book Maze Runner? If you did, what are your opinions on it? Okay, I know you guys would hate me for this, but I have to say it. I have to be vulnerable. I have to show my bad parts to you guys. I haven't I haven't read Maze Runner, Hunger Games, Harry Potter, Twilight, After series. I haven't read that. Like these are like kind of the books, especially Harry Potter is the type of book that everyone has read it. Harry Potter, Twilight. I haven't read it. I did read Twilight, the first book. I think it was one of the first romance book I ever read, and that's where everything started. But like, it didn't continue it. I didn't read Harry Potter. I love watching the movies. Like, I have done Harry Potter movie marathons with my younger brother, with my cousins, my friends. But like, I haven't read the books. Like, I just haven't. I haven't I haven't even watched Hunger Games. Like that should be a crime. I have been planning to, but I just never got around it. Especially the last movie that came out, the buzz that was there, like it was so popular, but I haven't read it. I haven't watched it even. I did watch the Maze Runner movie. I did like it. I remember enjoying it, but no, I haven't read this. Like, have you is there any popular book that everyone has read but you haven't? And if there is something, then please please like comment down below. I don't want to feel like I'm alone. That's why. So the next question I got is, you keep talking about fairy tale. Is it really worth it? It is worth it. I would like to give a descriptive answer on this. Not to be politically correct, but just because this book deserves it. This book is, again, it is not for everybody. It is a dark gothic romance. It is a really long book. I think 770 pages or something. I don't know why I'm leaning so much. Let me just go back. So, this book is not for everyone. It has a lot of trigger warnings. It's dark, it's gothic romance. Also, another thing that this is my blanket. um, it is a really long book. It requires a lot of patience. So, if you're one of those people who just wants to, complete their reading goal and read a lot of books in less time, then this book is not for you. But if you're a hopeless romantic and you're always looking for characters and stories that would make you feel so deeply, the characters that you would think about every day, and just story that wouldn't ever leave you ever, then you should read this book. It is three love stories in one. It is, if I tell you something in like if I keep talking about it, I will end up spoiling it, and I don't want to do that. But it is kind of like fated mates, meant for each other, um, epic love story. Everyone is against them, but they always find each other. There is a lot of mystery. It is spooky as well, and it is gothic, as I mentioned. Uh, the story is basically about this woman, Darcy, who's like 24, 23, 24 years old, and she suddenly gets a letter that she has inherited $1 million because of because her father died, and it is written in his will. And she has always been an orphan, and she didn't know that she even had a father. And but there is only one condition, that she has to go by herself, like she has to go in person to this little town and then sign some papers and all of that. So she just goes to this town called Fairydale, And she's like, what could go wrong? Like, I'm getting money. And basically she was really intrigued about how who his father was and how he lived and all of that. And then when she arrives there, she discovers that his father had an entire family there, and all of these creepy, wacky, like crazy, insane things start happening to her, like spooky and like kind of mysterious. When I tell you, every chapter has two plot twists. Like every chapter has a plot twist, and just when you think that you have gotten like a little bit comfortable with the story, like okay, fine, now I know where this is going. Like, uh, no, you don't know. Like in a matter of second, everything becomes unpredictable, and you just don't know what to think. So if you want something that level of mysterious, then you should read this book. Like this book is like unlike anything I have ever read. This book is vastly different than any other gothic romance, spooky romance, uh whatever you name it. Like it is so different. So if I keep talking about this book is like worth it. And it's not really popular. I don't know why. It should be hyped up, especially the main male character, Amon. He is so precious and so dedicated towards her. Like he's so wholesome. Obviously he's powerful, like literally very powerful, to the point that everyone was scared of him, of his powers. But he was always so sweet and nice and wholesome to her. It just, he's like the most precious male characters, any fictional character that I have ever read. Like he literally comes first in the terms of how he was so dedicated to her. Okay, so the next question is Binding 13 review. You I love this book with my whole heart. I love Johnny and Shannon. They are literally like my babies. uh, Binding 13 and Keeping 13, it is actually a duet. Even if it is a part of a series, this first two books of Boys of Torment series, written by Chloe Walsh, are follows a couple, which is Johnny and Shannon. They are in high school, and it is like really dark. It has uh, many trigger warnings. There's physical abuse, there is bullying, there is a lot, like a lot of topics that are discussed which are very sensitive and will make you cry. It made me cry. Also it is a thick book. It has a lot of, I think, 1,000 pages, I think. Yeah, but it is worth it. The whole found family in this book, in this series, is amazing. Like every character that is mentioned is going to get a book, and like you get so invested in every single character. And the whole, just the way this author writes is so heart touching. Like you get deeply invested and in the character's story. I just love it. Is also a hockey romance. Yeah, he's a hockey player. um it was so cute and precious and wholesome, and it was dark, and there's a lot of mystery too, but it is mainly romance. Like just the romance between Johnny and Shannon is like, you will literally feel like, oh my god, like that was so cute and sweet, and wow, like love this series so much. Like I love every single book of the series. Like right now, four books have already released. The first two books are about Johnny and Shannon, and the next third and fourth book are about Shannon's older brother. I love them so much. Like every single character. Read it. Doesn't matter if it is thick. Please read it. Like every single person deserves to know about, deserves to read the romance, like Johnny and Shannon's love story. Like just go and read it, and run to me obviously, and DM me on my bookstagram, please. I could talk about them all day, seriously. Someone is asking me, would you read my books if I ever gave you to? Like, of course I will. I love books, and if you would give me books, that would make me so happy. Like, it would make me so happy. Obviously, I would read it. Like, obviously. Another one is your review on The Darkest Temptation. I know The Darkest Temptation is the type of book that not everyone has liked, especially in the Maid series by Danielle Laurie. The first book was like got really popular. It was entertaining. Second book got really popular and it deserved it. Like it deserves all the hype that it gets. The Maddest Obsession is a masterpiece. I have like read that book 2 times and I just never reread books. I just don't. So you can guess how great that book is. And the third book, The Darkest Temptation, is very dark, as the title suggests. It is a captive romance, and there is major age gap. I think 12 years. She's 20 and he's 32 or something. He's in this Russian mafia, and he's the leader. He's this big bad guy, and she's a 20 years something girl who is who just finds herself in this whole different country, and he basically kidnaps her, keeps her captive. It's dark, it's not for everyone, but I really enjoyed it. But at the same time, I would say that I have read better captive romance books, so I don't think it was the best captive romance I've ever read, but I did enjoy it. Yeah, I liked it. I have a lot of like review requests here, which is interesting. But I'll take few other questions which are not reviews, just to add some little spice to this video. Okay, so another question is I perspective or he she perspective. Okay, this is a really, really good question, by the way. Um, essentially, this person is asking me that uh, do I like third POV or do I like second, like first POV? So the I perspective is basically like single POV. Either it is only we are in the girl's head and the girl is like describing the whole story, or it is like dual POV. So we get the perspective of the girl as well as the guy. Dual POVs are like, and there is third POV where we are not in the character's head, but there is a narrator who is like basically describing the story, like he did that, she did this, she said. So we are not getting the I perspective at all. We are not in the head of someone else. You know what I mean? Like it's basically like the stories that we used to read. Once upon a time there was a girl and she did this. So um, like I have 90% of the people, I could say this that 90% of the people don't like third POV, and up until like 3 years ago, I think I was one of them. Now I'm not. I can proudly say that third POV has its own like magic. I'm telling you. Have you heard of Runix? Of course you, of course you have. And she writes amazingly. She is the queen of writing third POV novels. Like so good. She adds so much mystery to it, just when it is third POV, like it is just something else. I know that it is hard for a lot of people to read, but you know what I did? I actually preparing myself. I knew that if I end up reading the Dark Horse series, I would love it. I just knew it, like from the blurb itself. So I was like, you know what, now I need to prepare myself to read third POV. So I started reading the tropes that I loved. And so first of all, I read, so that's what you should do. Like if you want to read third POV books but you just can't prepare yourself, you're like, I don't know, I will probably get bored or anything, you won't. So I read The Kiss Quotient by uh Anna Helen Huang, I think. Yeah, I really had to like talk to someone right now. So we just had that important conversation. I'm done with it. um I'm back. Read The Kiss Quotient. Then I read It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I just knew by reading the blurb that I would love the book. So this is how like I prepared myself, by reading all this like my favorite trope books. And then I went on to Runix's books. Like I started reading Dark Wars and I loved it. And now I have read so many third POV books that so many, like, I don't know, 25, 30, I don't know. And when I tell you that if you are limiting yourself, that okay, if it's third POV, then I won't read it, then you're really, really limiting yourself and you're missing out on such good books. I'm telling you, you're missing out. So start reading third POV. That's what I'm trying to say. I love third POV. I love dual POV as well. I like single POV as well. It depends. Like, single POV is amazing when there is this slow burn, like this frustrating level of slow burn, and the guy is like obsessed with her, and she is like so oblivious. And as a reader, we can literally like feel that, oh my god, he's obsessed with you. What are you saying? He hates you. He doesn't hate you. Like, what are you in? That's like whole another level of entertaining. And then dual POV, obviously, uh it's always so like so sweet to learn from the man's POV, that oh my god, he had fallen first for her and like he's obsessed with her, and it's just like just a fictional man's perspective. Reading a fictional man's perspective, there's just something about it like which gives me such a rush of like dopamine. It's just something else. And also third POV, like I said, it's just adds some, it's more dramatic, like it adds more spice to the story, I would say, more mystery. um yeah, that's what I was trying to say. So you should read third POV. Start right now. I really enjoyed this video, and it felt really like impulsive and like very um, in the moment type of video. You know what I mean? And yeah, this is the end of video. And please like, share, comment, subscribe. You know what I mean. And yeah, have a great day. Bye.